Give me a rope, and the first thing that I would do is an overhand snake. Not to say that the overhand snakes are super easy. It took a while for me to also give it a smooth run, but I think that in terms of complexity, it is by far easier than the other drills, yet it uses up more muscles than the rest. Like, throw me a rope, and the first thing I would do is an overhand snake. My resting drill would be the dragon roll. So, of course, there will be a hug at the end, but it just relaxes my back a lot, and it just gives you like your proper posture. So it just allows me to activate my back and make sure that I kind of like open it up, not slouch. Yeah, that's my resting drill. So how about the drill that is the hardest but the easiest? Okay. It took a while for me to actually understand the Cheetahs Tale. I actually delayed trying to understand it. I even came to a point where I really didn't want to learn it because they said it's optional. So I just want to stick with the basic drills. And then after a while, I just thought, I want to learn this because I've practically tried many drills, so might as well just try it. It was hard the first few tries, but after a while when you get to learn, it actually doesn't activate as much muscle as the other drills. But it was pretty complex for me to try at the first few days because you might end up like slapping your face with a rope. And that for me is the complexiest, the easiest, if you understand what I mean. Then if you're gonna ask me what my complex drill would be, it will always be the underhand snake. And it is also my favorite. I think that it takes a while for you to actually create a fluid motion of the underhand snakes. May not be true for everyone, but at least for me, I really wanted to get into a nice fluid motion where it doesn't get entangled with my hair or my head. I want to make sure that all of the parts of my body that should be bent is bent. It is complex in a way that it activates the most number of muscles, at least in my perspective, because every time I do an underhand snake, I notice that I need to like massage more of my back muscles compared to the other drills that I've been doing. So some of the tips that I did for myself to improve my underhand snakes is to make sure that I use my head, I bend my elbows, and that I also use my wrist. I think that when I look in the direction of where my elbows should be bent, it gives an added bounce and power to propel the rope on top of me. Also, looking at my bent elbows allows me to ensure that my elbows are at least 45 degrees bent, not like this, not like this. Otherwise, it won't be a snake. And it also ensures that the loop is nice, like the flow is nice. It won't get in the way of your hair, your ponytail, or your head. And then the third tip towards me trying to do the drills over and over and over, I noticed that I've been flicking my wrist again in the direction of the loop. So you do this flick. This flick is what I do when I do the underhand. So that added flick actually adds more bounce, so makes it easier for you to execute. So it's not a very strong flick. It's just a minimal movement, but adds a lot of fluidity to the underhand snake. Things that I never noticed. I just added those movements as you go along. And for sure you will have your own tips and tricks for friends that you might be trying to engage with Ropeflow. So you might want to think about those. And maybe we can collect and pull together thoughts and ideas. There are tips that we don't know and tips that you do know and might make it easier for a whole lot for the community. So, thanks a lot for watching and see you again. Keep on flowing.